welcome. How's it going, everybody? Good to see everybody. I hope you're here. I don't know. I just set up a last minute stream again. Typical Gosney, just working hard. And then here I am, right? I don't know. I just wanted to celebrate with y'all because it's a big day. I just say, I think I finished my first draft. So I think I'm done with my novel. I think it's finished. I haven't actually read it front to back. Hey, Dark Horse Productions. Let's say hello to everybody before we get into that. Dark Horse Productions, new member. Good to see you. Let's see, cute doggy, James Beaver. Yes, this cute doggy. I can't believe Steve. You write so fast. No, I can't believe it either. I mean, it's like people would. They must think I'm like deranged. But thank you, Yellow, Orange, Red. I was looking through the funny. Well, I'll tell you about it in a second. Okay, let's see who else we got. Sherez, stop looking at me. Diamonds and Hannah, Miami. You can't read the chapters on locals. I'm working on that. I'm going to try to figure out. I've got some other outlets that people, but the locals people get the first crack. I mean, I don't have a lot of locals around, so I don't do much. Mainly, I put my announcements like what's coming up. Like my next stream usually appears there first. Sadie. And wow, I am nonplussed. What does that mean, nonplussed? Let's see. It's Mark from North Carolina. Hey, Mark from North Carolina. Look at that. Dark Horse Productions. Very cool. Nice to have you there. Hey there, AJ Mickham. I think you might have found a genre that you need to write more in. Looking happy. Well, I'm very happy. Very happy. It came out, I think it's at 342 pages, 45,000 words is where I stopped. Now, I will say that what I've got is I've got all the chapters. There's an arc of the plot, and I've got it's a 3-part book. And gobsmacked. I love that's a great word. See, Yellow, Orange, Red. You're a good writer, and I appreciate it. And it's hard. It's kind of, you get in the zone, and I've been in the zone, and I call it the muse. John C. Wright gave that to me. I think it's wonderful, and it describes it perfectly. There's a muse. It strikes you. You're inspired, and you get in this zone, and the characters talk through you. It's not really. It's hard to explain, and I'd say that, like I'd say, I composed it in 9 days, but I've worked on it a lifetime, right? I mean, the things that I know and that come together are, I couldn't have written this way 20 years ago, right? I mean, because I didn't have the background. Didn't know, I'm not who I am. I didn't know what I was. But there has to be a bolt of inspiration. So the bolt of inspiration is divine as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it comes in and it just tells you here, and it just goes. And then you should develop the characters, and you have breakthroughs, and you just think about it. It's mainly focus of attention also. So focus is attention. AJ, okay, good to see you, AJ. Not deranged. It's clear you don't waste your time on whatnot or Twitch or other distractions. You have your time. Be careful. Yes, be careful. Diamonds and Henna, you know that from Read and Prepare, probably, or just from. I don't, when I'm in the zone, I'm not doing anything else. The biggest distraction is other stuff on my computer, like my emails and my, the news sites that I watch and stuff like that. Let's see, we got Buddy Dog. David, after last stream music, I remember talking about bass players, never mentioned Paul McCartney. Yeah, Paul McCartney, I get it. And he's fun to watch, and he's obviously great, but I wasn't really a Beatles guy. Now I since got into them, and I appreciate them, and I love them, but they weren't really. I mean, they're obviously one of the greatest bands of all time, but it's not my necessarily repertoire. Been in the zone is like being there and writing down what's happening and constructing something like. Well, and sometimes you'll start constructing. There's so many techniques that you can do to get around writer's block. I want to, well, I was thinking you might, in fact, I'm glad you're here, Yellow, Orange, Red. I kind of want you to look at something I wrote last night. Now, I've since written, multiple chapters since then, but it just goes, right? And a lot of the stuff that I wrote today, the stuff that I left till the end was the legal stuff. And I probably could buff that some more. I find it the most boring of the book. I mean, yeah, to me, but I know that there's a lot of my fans and a lot of people who are going to buy it are going to really want it. And in fact, part of that's in there is that this case that is the center and the heart of the book is basically reality based. And a lot of my people that watch these people are loving Wendy H. Wendy H, man. Is this Wendy H, my buddy who inspired me on some stuff? Ooh, see, I was reading through it before. I ran out of time. I was reading through it, and I was going to see if I could. I want to be careful which chapters I read online because I don't want to do any spoilers. Ginger, good to see you. So we're celebrating tonight. Oh, yes. Okay, Wendy, you're not the man. You're the woman. Wendy came up with this part that I needed to add to the book, the main character. And it's funny because I wrote the whole thing and the arc and the whole front to back thing. And it's the center of it is this death penalty trial, right? So it's a death penalty trial that runs. And a lot of people that love watching streaming, they want to watch true crime and they want to watch death penalty trials or trials coverage. So some of this is I'm creating a really interesting, entertaining trial that you can live. And I'm not just talking about live like watching the trial, but I'm talking about seeing how it starts, how it develops, how the personalities play, what the attorneys are thinking, what the judges are thinking, what the defense, the prosecutor, why they are what they are, the defendants, the suspects, the way that the trial progresses. The law is all absolutely 100% real law. It's the way a trial will be conducted in Florida, and it's most of the examples are adapted from things that I've seen and things that I've watched and done. Yeah, more book writing lately. I'm sorry. We'll do I'm going to probably do next week a stream on another music stream, probably guilty musical pleasures. That's going to be my. And then next Saturday. All right. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm so confident in where I am in this book that the hardcover pre-order is already up on my website. All right. So it's a soft launch. I'm going to do the hard launch pre-order next Saturday. So I'm going to promote it. I didn't promote this at all. You're just here. You're special. You guys are my biggest fans and biggest supporters because you're here. And so you get to know that if you go on my website right now, you'll see death penalty desires, passion, lust, and murder. That's the name of the book. And it is available for pre-order, only hardcover, first edition, signed and numbered copies on the pre-orders. That's the way it's going to work. And then once I cut it off, once I've gone through, because right now I'm still editing, really. I'm very confident in where I am, though. So I kind of, you say, why am I moving so fast? Because I'm inspired, number one. Number two is I've got a lot of work to do at work, and I've got a little space that I can shove it in there. Like they say, if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. Started your list, AJ? AJ, good to see you, man. You're a new person that I'm glad to see. Aren't you? You're relative. How long have you been watching the old Gosney channel? That's my question for you. Dave, I was maybe sort of in the background, but yes, I've already got that. Well, let's just say that yes, I was very involved in that and know that case front to back, and it's definitely one to watch. Okay, Dave. So let's see, what are we talking about? So I've got the pre-order up. It's expensive because it's going to be a hardcover only, highest quality printing, first edition. I will say I beat my cover artist to the punch. I'm not going to read the name, but thank you for the new membership. But he's working hard, and I'll get a cover up there. Right now, it's just an inside cover, but you'll see it. American Legend. Okay, Dark Horse. Good to see you. And I'm going to put it here. So this is to finishing the first draft of Death Penalty Desires. Okay, AJ. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Ahoy, Lord of the Ree. He's my buddy. We can see the music chat. Lord of the Ree, you got to see him. He got exposed. His first stream was on my stream. I'm proud of that. So yeah, so the book is first drafts is done. And the thing is, when I start falling, you start getting attached to it. And the problem is I'm very impatient, and it just flies, right? So Wendy H, Wendy H, are you my first hardcover? Now remember, it's probably a month or two out. Just in all the full disclosure, a month or two out. So we're talking. I was thinking maybe what I would do is do this transition at either the Sarah Boone trial or the OnlyFans trial. But thank you, Wendy H. The thing is I have a different strategy for marketing. This book is inspired, and I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know where my writing has come from. I mean, it's just developing better and better. Although I'll say my fantasy novels, I've been working on those fantasy novels, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's a lot of world building stuff that doesn't go, because this to me was easy, low hanging fruit, because it operates in an environment that I live in, that I deal with every day. So it's talking, I come from, this is a sidecar, Dave, sidecar. It's brandy, orange Cointreau. Thank you, Valley Law. See, there are people coming through. And roses sweet and sour with a sugar rim. It's very sweet, very highly alcoholic. White Rabbit. Now, White Rabbit, I will tell you, the expert and I, he got a major sneak preview. And he got me rolling. And after the show, I read him a lot of the chapters, and he was, I gotta say, you get me cranked up and I won't stop. It's like, but White Rabbit, good to see you. You're wonderful. It's nice to have you on. Yeah, sidecars are Brandon's favorite drink, right? Yes, Brandon. Thank you for the orders. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this book has unlimited potential. I really do. I mean, it's 50 Shades of Grey meet John Grisham. If I'm going to be honest, like, Brucie is a children's book that has unlimited potential. Death Penalty Debates has wide interest and appeal. Lily, cheers. The art's not up there yet, so you'll see. I'm going to make sure we get a good happy thing. But yeah, White Rabbit, what was expert saying about my little? I captured him, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning till we got done. He got cut off, and we were just going to roll. Wendy's #1, and I didn't get to that chapter. I need to preview it real quick because I do want, you guys have really helped me get through some things, and like, it would be interesting to go through it now, because I haven't even really read it front to back. I just write it straight out, and what it happens is it's modular. So how do you write? I have this arc of the story. I know who the characters are. I want to talk about them. And I wrote the structure and the framework, and it starts out with the crime, the suspects, and the setup. Then you go through it. The middle part, the part 2 is the trial. And then the last part is the kind of the incarcerative portion. So you have this 3-part novel, 3-part epic. It's a full novel. A novel is 40,000 words. So this is over 45,000 words. So it is my first novel officially. And so I have that framework, and I know what I want each character to do and how they're going to be involved. But then it's funny, because the 2 main characters, the hotshot appellate attorney in Florida, who's the sexy hotshot attorney, right? Wildly successful, the best attorney in Florida. I don't know, just inspired. And then the female lead were not really that developed. not really that developed. And my son pushed me, and he's like, you aren't, these characters, they need to be likable. You need to root for them, right? So I worked real hard on that. And then, of course, Wendy came up with it. And Wendy said, she was like, you need to work on this character. And I've incorporated like the family connection, because it's like, okay, you've got this male lead, because there's a romance novel. It's a kinky kind of romance novel. And first thing we're going to do is I'm going to read you I want to get the back cover written. So you guys are going to help you with the back cover tonight, right? And here. Going to help me with back cover. And I can read you one chapter another chapter I've released. Okay. Which I've released it to a buddy in Montana who's a concealed carry guy, and Andrew Branca, because there's a little gunfight going on. And I released it to, I sent it to them so I can read it to you. And I don't think it will give away anything if I read you that chapter. The other chapter, the one Wendy H. you inspired, I'm not sure. I think it might give away too much. I haven't read it through. I just wrote it through. So it kind of goes, it's kind of components. So I'm trying to, like, I know some of you all are writers. It's modular. So I like, okay, I got to talk about this character. Here's where I wanted to go. This chapter goes from here to there. And because of that, I've got a whole bunch of chapters. Some of them are tiny little chapters, and some are a little bit more lengthy. But one of the things I don't like is, you ever get in a book and you're reading and it's just, you get this chapter and you start flipping ahead. You're like, when does this thing end? I got to get to the end. It doesn't seem like it moves because the chapters can be so weighty. So instead, I've broken it up into 3 parts, 3 acts, and each chapter is kind of short and zippy. So you can read it, and it might be 3 or 4 pages, or maybe even 1 page or 2 pages, and it's kind of, maybe it's our cell phone coverage, our cell phone. I think it'll appeal to people in that way. And there's a definitely, and this is the thing, there's a dominance and submission theme. Now, I can't say that this is necessarily me. All right. I don't know where it came from. Well, I kind of do. It was inspired by a client. But I also wanted to write a book for the ladies. And the ladies here, you guys, I think at this point in my life, I have a little bit of knowledge of the feminine. And I think I've got, like, Branca gets off on these tears, and he's always like, women are illogical. But, I think that's false. I think men and women are both illogical and operate from different frames of reference. So here's one to the ladies. You guys are awesome. And maybe there's lessons in it for all of us. I don't know. It's inspired. I really don't know what it says. I have ideas. I have themes. I have understanding. I have structure. But ultimately, it's up to the reader. So Wendy, you're going to be good. You're going to help me. All right. You hang out, because I want your help. And thank you for the book. So the big news is soft launch pre-orders on stevegosney.com. It doesn't even have the cover yet. It's just the ability. It's going to be probably a 1 or 2 month lead time. The first major draft is done. It's 342 pages at this point. But it's a novel. It's a fictional novel based on, and it's the real law. I'll tell you, this is a book, ladies and gents, that if you get this book, you read this book, it will be the best murder trial I think you'll ever see. And because you'll be on the inside. You'll be in the inside through the minds and through the eyes of the participants, and feeling it the way I feel it, and feeling it the way that maybe a client feels it. And not only that, you will see the beginning, middle, and end, insights into the people's minds, love interests, right? It's passion, lust, and murder. And you can walk away from this, and you will know criminal procedure in a way that maybe you hadn't before, because this is very much based on the real system. So you will experience the system from the inside out, front to back, beginning to end. And so it's almost a complement to Death Penalty Debates and my other book that I'm working on at work, which is Death Penalty Designs, which is understanding the capital system. But this is a fictional account that will walk you through it. Hmm. So cheers to you guys. And so first thing I want to do is let's work on the back cover. Can we do that? Guys ready? The drink is very good. Dark Horse, man. This is I love the sidecar. You know, my wife drinks some of this. She has some red wine. I'm getting to the point that there's certain things that I just can't do. Let's see, here we go. Okay. Let me see here. All right. I guess I can. How do I share screen here? 1 second. Is the expert here? Oh, yeah. 15, 18. Yeah, I'm at 45,000 words. That's where I've topped off. It's probably going to get a little bigger than that. What I've got to do now is I've got to settle it down. I know where I got to calm down. I've got to settle down. I really need to focus. And I know exactly what I need to focus in on plot wise and order wise, because I just write these things and I put these modules together and it clicks together. But I'm not sure if the characters are doing what I want them to do them, how I want them to do them, at the time I want them to do it at, because of the order. I think so. The trial and the order of events is very solid, but the love triangles and the love interests and the interactions between the characters, as far as their I got to make sure that's consistent. That's sort of the thread that I've woven through there. All right. And good, yes. So, expert, hey, what do you think about? I read a whole block of chapters for him. Did you like it? Did you like what I read you? You got a real insight. Nobody has heard it like the expert. So you can't give away any spoilers, but you can tell them if you liked it. The White Rabbit's here, by the way, expert. Your wife's here. So here I'm working on this. This is the this is just a working document that I'm using for the back cover. Let's see here. Can you get that? 1 second. You see that? How's that go? Yeah, that's good. All right. Yes, it has you hooked. I think it's, I mean, I write what I like. I write what I want to see. I write what's going to be fun. I write what's going to be exciting and sexy and dirty. And you're going to get a whole new insight into the gods. And I'll say a lot of my, because I really love my Christian friends. And this is the thing. I am a Catholic. I'm a Christian. I'm a dedicated man. I've got a beautiful wife and child, right? I'm all into that. So that being said, and some of my favorite people are very hardcore Christians. I'd say, very fundamentalists. I like them, and I think but there's a lot of sex and smut in this book, and I'm a little concerned that they'll get offended. But I don't know. It's kind of like Prince. You ever remember Prince? Prince always had that kind of dichotomy, because my point, and it was the main point we made the other day, is that Christianity is not anti-sex. People, and there's this warfare that between, and it's like the pagan folks or the non-believers. They like to point the finger at Christians and say, that you are not being Christian because you're thinking sexual thoughts. Well, I hardly disagree. I hardly disagree. I mean, where do you think babies come from? If those kinky sex drives and different things that you may be into, and this is a dominance and submission story, but if you're into something different, but little babies are made, how can that be wrong, right? Nobody gets hurt. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's getting what they want, and little babies get made. I can't think of anything more Christian than that. So cheers to dirty, passionate sex and lust. Okay, so here we go. A double homicide takes the country by storm. All clues point to Amanda Smallwood. Can she escape the vortex of passion, lust, and murder that threatens to destroy her? The suspects are many, and the law is real. The innocent suburban housewife must journey through hell to understand her innermost desire for submission and find the man who can protect her while making that dream come true. So that's my back cover blurb, the way I've drafted it. What do you think about that? So Wendy, we've got yellow, red, orange, or what do you think about my back cover blurb? And what can we what can we do to, like, how would we title that? Does that grab you? Does that make you want to buy it? Love it. Wendy H loves it, and she's my first books purchaser, so I can't argue with that. Yeah, y'all, I'm serious. Experts hooked. Well, you can go get your pre-order. So if you want to get it the fastest, if you want to see it in hardcover, high quality paper, first signed, numbered, and first editions, you got to go. It's expensive, but you can do it. And you will be the first to get it. Whose vortex? Amanda's right. Yellow. Whose vortex? Okay, can she escape the vortex of passion that threatens to destroy her? Well, it surrounds her. She's surrounded by passion, lust, and murder. Okay, so how would you? Okay, so yellow, orange, red. I respect your editing abilities. This is why I'm here. What do you think? How can I? What's a title for this? What would be like a heading? So let's take a look at like death penalty debates, right? Or yeah, death penalty debates. This says be above the mob. So it says decide for yourself. That's the heading here, okay? Let's see, how can we do this? Let me put it. What would we say? It's not death row desires. I don't want to say that. I appreciate that thought, but I thought about that actually. But it's definitely death penalty desires. And there's reasons I can't reveal. You'll have to get the book. Okay, so double hunting takes country by storm. All clues point to man. I do think that this sentence here is too long. It needs to be broken up into two. So I'm kind of with you. It is a little confusing. The innocence of her housewife must journey through hell to understand her innermost desires for submission. Period. How about period there? Can she find the man who will protect her while making that dream come true? Can she find the man who will protect her while making that dream come true? Okay, that's better. Yeah, Slidey Pie, good to see you. She just arrived. Party can start. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's pretty good. The man who protects her, yes, see there? Very good, protects her. Less passive. Protects her. Can she find the man who protects her while making that dream come true? While making. Is that really, can we improve this? Yes, David Nelson. Okay, now David Nelson, I will say, everybody give David Nelson a hand. See, David, let me back off this for a second. And I'm gonna say I wanted to almost put you in the book thank yous. David Nelson is the man. See, he's in my chat here. Where are you? You're in YouTube chat. He's the one that inspired this book. You are the one that I remember we were in Vice Squad chat and we were talking and we were chatting. We were just in the chat, just me and him. I wasn't on the show. And David Nelson was in there and he's like laughing. We're cracking up. We're making jokes, right? And he's like, Gosney's always writing books. And you should write a book called Death Penalty Desires. And it was I was laughing so hard. You don't know. I was falling off my chair. I thought it was so funny. And then we started going, oh yeah, sure, definitely desires. The great, sexy, young appellate lawyer that slays dragons, right? Remember and I was saying that as an absurdity. Because look, this is the great death penalty appellate lawyer, right? Yeah, who am I? I'm not any sex stud, but of course, a fantasy world, I am sure. I'm going to go out there and be the hero and get all these people, and the woman's going to hit on my arm. And so then I started coming up with this. Well, and I had a case. So then that was it. Then also I was combining that with the kind of absurd. If you ever watch, there's a Jordan Peterson thing. It's really funny because everybody's laughing about men and their sex desires and their things, and he's like, "Oh, all you ladies are laughing. Well, let me tell you what your fantasies are." And he started poking it. It was really he was cracking himself up talking about it. About the pirates and the vampires and you know rescuing them, taking them, sweeping them, and going on a pirate ship and rest. And so he's making all these planes. So I was thinking about that, like the female desire and fantasy and how that works. And I think it's fascinating because obviously I've studied the female creature for quite a while. Even though I'm married, you're still interested. It's an interesting thing. And I mean, I think finally figuring it. I don't know. I don't know if you really do. I don't. And I put some little hints. There's a few man things in here too. So then that, and then I thought about this other case, and the case just burned me. Oh my God, it's the worst case of my life by far. I had this one case, and it was so painful. I actually got a little touch of PTSD from it. I'm not joking. It probably burned me out of the courtroom permanently. Now I will not that I've done a lot of cases since then, and I've been in trials, right? But to carry a regular docket, I mean, I was just such a horrific case. I mean, for so many ways. And for me to explain it, it was a 4-day jury trial defending an actually innocent person. And with the prosecutor and the state all geared against me and the bailiffs and everybody. And that experience was so traumatic. And I can't explain it to people. It just happened to you. It's like, and I guess maybe I feel a little bit. I'm not comparing myself to any door kicker like Valhalla who has real PTSD, right? But I can't really explain it to you in a way that makes sense. But so I was like, well, maybe if I told that story, and one of the things I talk about in Prepare is write your story down and put that trauma behind you. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to put that. So I'm going to use that as the core framework, that trial, and then make it a death penalty trial and then fictionalize it and make everything extreme, but use that as sort of the framework so that when you get through with this reading this trial, you will understand the trauma of defending an innocent client, assuming Amanda's innocent. We have to assume that, right? Maybe not. I don't know. You got to read the book. So David Nelson, you kicked that whole spark off. And once I put those three things together, like I said, you have these ideas and then the inspiration hits and we were laughing. And the laughter creates relaxation. And then I think about this and I think about this and I think about this. So those three things combined, David's joke about, death in my kind of extreme fantasy, like putting myself in the hero seat, which is absolutely absurd. But like, can I do it? Can I make it happen? In my fantasies, I can. Okay, so let's do it. So I did that, and then combining that with the female sex desire, and then combining that with a real criminal trial that I can then vault into capital. That's what this book is. We're just starting, Goodfellow. We're just starting to work. Okay, the book is over. You can, it's not over. It's the first draft is done. So if you want to pre-order the copy, the hardcover only, limited edition, signed and numbered, first edition hardcover, that is available for pre-order on my website. Soft launch tonight, hard launch next Saturday. So I'm going to have Branka on. I'm going to have Valhalla on. Maybe I'll ask a few more people on, and we're going to do more of a hard launch for the pre-orders next Saturday. All right. So that'll be Saturday from 8 to midnight. I was actually going to auction off some characters in there. Yes, the sidecar is awesome. I should put a sidecar in there. I do have some fun to door branding. There's a lot of like inside jokes for you guys that watch me. Yes, you know it. That's Shane nailed it. Okay, here we go. She's back. Let's see. Yellow, orange, red. Are you female or male? Okay. What do you think? Better? Yeah, I'll do that, expert. Sidecar recipe and book. See there? Sidecar recipe and book. No, I'm just, yeah, well, I don't know. I want to say miss. I mean, you want to use the proper pronoun. Sidecar recipe. I've got little notes. See, what I do is, and that's what happens is I think about it. Hi, the alien. Good to see you. Let's see. You can't see that? Oh, I'm sorry. Present. Didn't know I'm just working. You see that now? Double homicide. Like, all the clues point to it. A vortex of passion, lust, and murder surrounds her. The suspects are many, and the law is real. The innocent suburban housewife must journey through hell to understand her innermost desire for submission. Can she find the man who protects her while making that dream come true? Men are usually visual content. Yes, I am. Well, target. So what does that mean, Mr. Fraud? What is visual? What is not? It's not finished. Your editor's chat have given suggestions. I know that, but there's only so much I can do to reveal it. I do have the first 4 chapters posted on Locals if you are a Locals person, but it will just tease you. That's all. We've read them. We've worked on them, right? Texas Jen, what do you think? I mean, this is the back. What would be what's the headlight here? I'm with headlight. What's the headlight? See, there one sidecar. Um, I want to put something about domination, dominance, or submission. So let's just write words: submission, domination. Maybe Florida. Well, that maybe so, and women tend to buy a lot of books, so women are definitely the better readers here. The nation by storm. You think nation's better than country here? I will tell you, this is the name the media dubs are poor little Amanda. Um, oh, Slidey Pie has a Rumble channel. Yes, that's right. So Slidey Pie's here. She's sharing her heart on Rumble. So yeah, that's it. Oh boy, Amanda. Yeah. So how about Florida's sex toy killer? This is an adult and mature theme. Oops, sorry. Hold on. Florida's sex toys. And how's that? Florida's sex toy killer and a woman's desire for submission. Florida's sex toy and about just and the desire for submission? How about that? Then we're a little bit more. So far, so good. I think we're getting better. The innocent suburban is the innocent suburban housewife. Will you ladies will you relate to that? Is that something that's too is that offensive, or not? That this isn't going to be offensive. You're just going to have to put it away. Yeah, Amanda, expert knows. Experts, you were in chapter 3. You were in part 3. It's a 3-part novel. I've broken it into little bitty pieces. And the desire for submission. You like that, Texas Jen? Okay, does that sound? Are you titillated? I'm titillated. I gotta say, I will say that it reminds me of, what is it? Smell the Glove by Spinal Tap. What? It's sexist. Sexy's good, right? Sexy's good. I don't need the word innocent. Okay. Suburban housewife. A suburban housewife. How about all of the here? This is a good question. The answer is all of the above. I gotta say it. I've actually started feeling sorry for my characters. The emotions. I'm cracking myself. My family thinks I'm going nuts because I'm sitting there laughing. I'm entertained. There's some humor in here. I was actually getting emotional and choked up writing about my characters. Can't even believe it. It's like these people aren't even real. I'm just making them up. Hey, I'm all for Suburban Housewives. You guys are going to buy my book, and hey, big part of the nation, right? Jay Lee is here. The Florida's sex toy killer and the desire for submission. Or how about, maybe I should reverse these. The desire for submission and the Florida's sex toy killer. What do you think? What goes first? Yes, I got it. Orange, you see, we're thinking right. Wendy H bought the first hardcover. That's pretty good so far. Yes, this is good. Fraud, you got it. Nailed it here. Fiction is a good way to experience hardship and trauma without actually having to live that life. Right on the money. Yeah, no, reading is a great way to experience the world without actually having to get there. You like it as it is? You like that right there? Do you like it? Florida sex toy killer, first or second? What do you think? Wendy H, you get the call, because you are my first hardcover purchaser, so you make the call. Is it Florida sex toy killer first or second in the headline here? Because this will be a headline. We'll do something like this. We'll go and then do something like that. Sex toy killer second. Should I take out Florida? What if I just take out Florida? Because that may limit. How about and the sex toy killer? How about that? I kind of like that. I think that's better. Tough call. I kind of like this. The desire for submission and the sex toy killer. Yeah, it's okay. See, there's another good one. Okay, David Nelson, you're helping. See, and this is one thing I definitely do that I'm learning, is that I write the same thing twice every time. Double-sided. Yes. How about her innermost fantasies? Her dreams come true. There we go. Much better. Okay, there we go. I think we're very close here. This might be it. The desire for submission and the sex toy killer. A double homicide takes the nation by storm. All clues point to Amanda Smallwood. A vortex of passion, lust, and murder surrounds her. A vortex surrounds her. The suspects are many, and the law is real. A suburban housewife must journey through hell to understand her innermost fantasies. Can she find the man who protects her while making her dreams come true? Yeah. That's good. Okay, I like it. Do you want to read that book? I do. A suburban comes across. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we should take out suburban. How about a lonely housewife? A lonely housewife rather than suburban housewife. Yes, lonely. Or it's a lonely. She's also neglected. She's lonely and neglected. Would it be better for a lonely housewife? I think lonely. I think lonely is better. Lonely and neglected housewife, or just lonely, or neglected housewife? Lonely. I think lonely is it. She's not bored. Sean said she's not bored. She's lonely and neglected, but not bored. She's especially lonely now. Well, okay, yeah, I get it, but well, let's just leave it at that. Okay, so I think that's good. I think that's our winner. Thank you for the help. Let's go on to the next chapter that I want you to try. So here's our first draft. The robbery. Okay. I'm going to have to, let me turn this off because I don't want you seeing anything that you shouldn't be seeing. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Now I gotta. All right, this is going to be a little bit of a shift. This might be a little, you might not understand. Do you remember the, okay, yeah, okay, here we're at 225. Hold on, navigate. 1 second. Hold on a second here. All right, 225. Yeah, these things get so big, it takes a while to navigate them. 225. Here we go. All right. Now, here, let's go ahead and read the chapter again. And this is one of the dirty chapters, so you put your kids away, and it's got some dirty words in it. It's not sexy necessarily; it's just vulgar. But that's the way it goes because that's what this book is serious. It's about passion, lust, and whatever else we're talking about. Okay. But I'm going to read this chapter that relates to what we're going to be doing here in a second. Okay. So, because you needed to understand the backstory and who this guy is. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Present, share screen, window, share. See this? The boyfriend. Okay, got it? So here's this is, you need to understand, because we're going to read about the boyfriend here, and then we're going to write a chapter related to this boyfriend. Now, close your ears, and if you're very sensitive and you think I'm some kind of saint and never curse, never think bad thoughts, remember, this is fiction. First of all, it's fiction. This is an illustration. This isn't a real person. This is a made-up person, and we're talking language that I hear every day in my thing, and you're so qualified. Okay, we got it clear? Okay, we're all on board there, and you guys helped me write this, so you're part of the guilty party. We're all going down in the smut together. All right, fair enough? Qualifier's done. This might get me demonetized. That'd be fun. I don't think I've ever had a screen get demonetized. Okay, the boyfriend. Brandon Aponte may be a dealer, but tagging Erica Palm as his, that was a man's pride. But no one called him Brandon. Hi Z. That was his name. Some just called him Z. Even the low-level street folks, thugs, man, folks, could remember that. I could change folks to thugs. If they forgot, they just looked at the tattoos drawn on his face. High and Z. High Z could make things happen. That was what a man does. He was living the life, playing the game. Okay, so there's our, you turned Leaguebot turned it up. Yeah, that's right. Tell me the smut. All right, actually, and let's do a shout out to old Let's Go Brandon here. He's been sick, but he's a good guy, and he's helped fund me so my sidecars. And Brandon I named him Brandon because of Let's Go Brandon. Aponte is obviously not Brandon's name, but I thought that was a good, kind of cool name. Right? Okay. What a wild child Erica proved herself to be. Okay. But that body, oh my God. He liked things high and tight. And one of you guys suggested that one. He liked them tiny. Big boobs ain't all that. They just flop around when you're making love. Erica fit him just fine. Best pee in a stable, faux show. Erica showered in Z's flat, singing in that sweet teenage singing voice of hers. High Z played with his cell phone as he scratched his crotch. Spotify cranked. Recommended for today, play. The software piped into High Z's earbuds the last song. He touched on a hip-hop playlist. Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff blasted. That's tight. Flip, Stitches, Molly Cyrus. Pimp tight. Let it play. Erica's phone rattled on his thigh. The shower drowned out the noise, so Brandon picked it up quickly. He read the text. Meet me at the Super 8. I'll bring the gear. Right? Yeah, Bob Bill. You know, I didn't really quite realize until quite recently that most lawyers are absolutely not creative. They're on the bottom. Like it's like bottom 1% of creativity. It's like a very not creative profession. And I'm in the top 20%. I'm not pegging it, but I'm the top 20% of creative people. Maybe this is why I don't get along with a lot of people, but that is a fact. And but cheers to you, and cheers to Let's Go Brandon. A legend. Okay. High Z's lips pulled back in rage, exposing a gold grill. His eyes narrowed. Effing whore. He knew what she did for cash, but here she kicks it in his effing face. But he knew it. He knew who it was. That fed pervert who liked a whipping. Maybe perv. He wanted that sweet pea for his tonight. He smashed in a reply. Not tonight. Some other time. Send. The shower stopped. He's going to rage F that chick tonight. He fingered himself, gathering up his E for her shower exit. I'm going to make her pay. All right. So there's our lovely fellow there. Obviously not my character. I can tell you I've experienced these guys. What do you think? Okay, first of all, I should probably take out. Well, I'll go back. I'll make a note. Well, let's see. What page am I on? Hold on. 225. Okay. So I'll go back there to that chapter and fix those little nicky things. See, this is what I got to do is fix these little ticky-tacky things. It's not like big deal, but I don't want to have little errors in it, or don't want to have little. And it's funny because, like, you know, how can I? Okay, so we're gonna have. I think perp is or perv is better than pervert. Perv. Where's perv? Fed perv. And there was one other little thing I was going to do. I wonder if Brandon will be upset that he's the guy with the grill. Oh, and my son helped me with the Spotify stuff because I don't do Spotify. I buy all my stuff on Media, and I was originally going to put Frank Zappa's Teenage Prostitute in there, but he's like, that would never get recommended. This kid will never watch that. I fought very hard to put it in there. I said, how about the last song on side 2 on Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch, which I was listening to the other day, and it's hilarious. You know, and I thought it would be sort of an insider, but someone would look it up. So Hey, Talk with Sally. Good to see you. You DM me. Okay. Should I check it now or later? David Nelson's our hero for the night. So let's cheer to hero David Nelson because he was involved in the spark. It was the Vice Squad, but David Nelson, this is your buddy. You were involved in this plan. Okay, so what was the other change I was going to make here? All right, got that. Let's go over to the chapter we're going to do. Now, let's just say, okay, so we all there? We all caught up? Is everybody on board? Everything cool? So before we get into the next chapter, I got to tell you the setup. And again, we're doing a soft launch tonight of the pre-order. So the pre-order for the hardcover, limited edition, signed copy, signed and numbered, only one run. It's going to be pre-orders, and you're going to get it. After that, I'm going to change it up, and it's going to be ebook on Amazon, and it's going to be soft covers on Amazon. Quality won't be as good. They won't be signed. They won't be numbered. So now that they're expensive, so I appreciate it. And if you want to wait, the ebook will be very inexpensive, right? But if you want to, who knows? I think this thing could be like 50 Shades of Grey, maybe John Grisham. It could be huge, or maybe not. Maybe it will just be another book in my stable, and I'll be happy with that. I'm not expecting anything. But when I read it and I know what it is and I know what I've done here and it's inspired, I think it will be better than anything else that you're going to read this year. All right. So you could have that limited edition first. I mean, how much is a first edition, Harry Potter novel worth? I don't know, hardcover first edition, signed, numbered first. I don't know. So I'm just saying. And Wendy H., you're the first one, man. You've got the first one. Of course, then you're never going to want to give it up because you're my buddy. All right. So here's the setup. Now we got the plug-in. So next Saturday, 8 to midnight will be our drinking, horror, and sleazing party hard launch of the pre-order book. Only I'm just telling you now that it's available. My hard launch is going to be, and I'm going to bring in guests, see who I can get in. If you have any connections to some really heavyweight guests, then let's do it. But I'm going to start promoting it. Now that it's done, I just have to edit it and promote it. Really, I'm going to be in marketing mode. So, all right. So we have our little thug, High Z, right, with the grill. Got that? Let's just say, I'll reveal to you this little tidbit, which won't spoil anything. Because I'm just telling you, just because somebody is a murderer does not mean they need to live much longer. A murderer can be somebody who does not survive. Is that fair? Okay, it's fair. So it doesn't mean that, our murderer may not survive the book. Maybe he does. Maybe the murderer is Amanda. Maybe there's a twist at the end. Maybe she's actually not so innocent after all. Maybe submission is the keys to murder. I don't know. You'll just have to wait and see. But let's just say, focusing back on our little character, High Z, he lives a world that most of my fans, most of my folks, most of you have never experienced. Now, I will say, being in my shoes, all right, I've dealt with a lot of these people face to face. This is a criminal underclass that most of you don't realize. And I will explain his little business model in the book. You'll get a flavor for how these folks exist. How can somebody this stupid exist in the world? And I will tell you, at the end of this, you will dislike these people as much as I. The stupidity level is off the charts. Part of the hard thing is actually understanding the level of stupidity we're dealing with. All right. So when you get to this part of the book, you're not going to like Mr. High Z. He's not the likable guy. He's not the hero. Is that fair? He is yellow, orange, red. Okay. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. High Z is way out of your life experience. But let me tell you, these people exist. They do live in your world. They are on Earth walking around with you. So is Death Row. So is Donald Trump. So is Elon Musk. All of these people walk around just doors down from you, maybe a couple of miles away, all sorts of people surrounding us, all living together on this little globe and planet Earth circling the sun, right? And they're all here. And you may never come across them. But occasionally these worlds intersect. Occasionally the world of the normal, the world of the wholesome, the grandpa, the family, the husband and wife retired in Florida, occasionally have an interaction with somebody like High Z. Sometimes this happens. And when that happens, there's no understanding. Let's just say when that happens, there's no synchronicity of joy. There's no kumbaya. Usually those interactions are fraught with peril. Okay, fair enough. So let's have a cheers. See how much fun this is? I'm having fun. Slidey Pie, Brucie books, yes. Do you like Slidey Pie? Do you like Brucie? I love Brucie. And I want to get My Difficult Dog funded, but it will be after this book has obviously taken a life of its own and blasted itself out in a fit of 9 days of inspiration. So, High Z, his grill, yo, drug dealer, pimp, thug, low level criminal. Now, you got the picture. So here's the thing. There came a point in the story that High Z needs to die. He needs to die. He can't continue existing. How he dies is up to me. And I have chosen the manner of his death. And the manner of his death is to encounter a good person like you and me, somebody who's just an everyday retired folk couple in Florida, which we got a lot of them. Who needs High Z to die? I need High Z. The author needs High Z to die. I want him dead. You see him dead, right? Okay, so we've got High Z. We want him dead, and the manner of death will be you. And I was next Saturday. The problem is I write too fast. I'm ahead of my book author. I'm ahead of everybody, and I'm too anxious. I'm not patient enough. I was thinking about squeezing a little bit more money out of everybody by auctioning off who gets to whack High Z, because he's a hateful character, and you're going to want to do that. Every concealed carry holder in my chat and on this planet, or maybe I should say a majority of them, they got a concealed carry. They go to those classes. They go to the shooting ranges because they can't wait to blast High Z. Right? Can I shoot him now? That's what they say. Can I shoot him now? And I'm like, no, can't shoot him yet. Can't shoot him yet. No, can't shoot him yet. And old Branca's got his law of self-defense, and I'm like, nope, can't shoot him yet. And people are like, oh, I've got all this guns and I got this stuff, and I can shoot a pea off of a off of a telephone pole, right? I mean, it's like they're good, they're trained, they're disciplined, they know the law, and they don't get to kill him. All right. Well, so I was thinking I would auction off, put you could be the guy who's the good guy, the good person who whacks High Z. But I've already written it, and we're gonna go through and see how High Z dies at the hand of a good guy. All right. So the good guys win. And I will say this is a feel-good story. This story will rip your heart apart, but in the end, good triumphs, all right? Come on. I'm not going to give you something depressing. So how are we going to die? All right, let's that's what I need your help on, because this I will say I wrote this last night. I don't know. It was probably between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I had been writing all day. I was really tired, and I wanted to go to bed. But I had some, and this one it started hard and it was working hard, this chapter, because I have the death scene. I know how I want him to die. And it was like kind of hard. And we're fiddling with it. And I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. And what happened was like, okay, how do I start this? How do I do the encounter? And I'll tell you, I don't know if anybody read the Witcher. The Witcher is a great series. One thing I love about that writer is he tells things from different perspectives. There's this one scene in the last book where the main characters, are observed from just some average folks, and I thought that was such a brilliant writing device. That the dragons and the armies and the magicians and the witchers are all battling, and here's these people that are just lugging the cart and carrying the stuff, and they're watching it from afar and seeing the scene unfold and seeing this heroism, but they're just common folks. So I kind of that sort of concept inspired me, because High Z is one of our characters, right? But I've got this other character who's just average Joe, just you. Witcher, yeah, Witcher with a T, I think. Yeah, second one, real great. One of the best fantasy novels. If you like swords and sorcery and fantasy, it is. Read the book, don't watch the series. It's a great book series, one of my favorite. Okay, so let's go ahead, and you're going to help me edit, aren't you? You're going to help me edit this chapter, the death scene of High Z. And I haven't really, I've read through it. I did it late last night. I worked on it a bit when I got home, when I got in. But see, here's how I work from the top down, and I work backwards to forwards. Where is I? Here we go. Here it is right here. I got to make sure I don't share something and reveal another chapter without you seeing it, because I don't want to. So the concept here is, and so it does. This is why I can share this chapter. First of all, I sent it to Andrew Branca for some self-defense tips. Make sure it's pure self-defense, because I want our client, see there, I think I want our shooter to be absolutely in the right. It's not a spoiler. It doesn't matter that High Z dies, okay? Because it doesn't matter. Just trust me on this. And the shooter. So all that matters is that he dies, and everything else in this chapter is just a mechanism for creating his death. So this is why I'm saying it's in the middle of the book, but I'm plucking it out and I'm letting you, because I need your guidance on it. I wrote it straight out, and I've tricked it a little bit. So are you ready to go? Enough talk. You're saying, Gosney, shut up. Here we go. Let's see the chapter. I know you guys want to help. Okay, so here we go. The robbery. A diesel Mercedes-Benz Airstream Interstate idled outside Walgreens, its distinctive engine knocking sound rumbling under the hot Florida sun. Its owner, Will Presser, browsed the back aisle inside, next to the store's pharmacy. His wife had directed him to retrieve a pain reliever. The man poked away at the lanes of inventory, trying to remember which brand his spouse flavored. Was it Bayer? Tylenol? Yes, Tylenol. Possibly. 100-count gel pack, 500 milligrams? 50-count tablets, 650 milligrams. 24-count tablet, 325 milligrams. He struggled to mentally compare the price with the product amounts. Holding the calculations in his brain, he then factored the brand decision with the advertised quality. Wait, recalculate. He stepped back. Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming lecture about his failure to properly mind read his wife. The images incentivized his decision. Maybe he should just have listened more closely. He grabbed one of each. Okay, so there's my first little lead in. Will's heart yearned for their annual excursion back to home in Will's heart yearned for their annual excursion back home to Montana. Most of his kids were there, and even some grandkids. His better half agreed they needed to get back soon, packing lots of gifts for their grandkids in the RV. Okay, I've got grandkids. I've got grandkids twice. So let's see. And even some grandkids. What's another word for grandkids? No suggestions. How about their little Christina? Right? Okay, so we got Gran and Pop would spoil them, much to the chagrin of their parents. They'd read their favorite children's book, Brucie the One-Eyed Wonder Dog, sharing a special moment by the stone Montana fireplace. Their Florida beachfront condo housed them most of the time, but retirement does not mean transplantation without roots. He tapped his Smith & Wesson six-shooter. Laredo leather boots, Wrangler blue jeans, and a thick handlebar mustache completed the look. Although Will Presser dressed in cowboy gear, he did not especially stand out in Florida. The community took all comers. Will's balanced disposition had been learned through habit and practice. The public place required the alert state yellow, as the trained concealed carrier knew. An annual trading pilgrimage to Montana's Freddie Merck Gunworks honed his skills. The classes emphasized innocent life protection and the heavy burden of responsibility brought on by concealed carry. Competitive target shooting ingrained precise shooting habits on his Model 60. A blue plastic blank basket swung nonchalantly in Will's left hand, filled with the medicines, while his draw hand rested casually at his side. Will Presser existed in an incredibly different world than Buster and High Z. But this day, their paths crossed. Okay, are we getting there? You getting the feel? What's going on? Okay. A commotion near the pharmacy drew Will's attention. The logo on the right, a watermark to protect your content. Is there? This one up here? I don't know. That's my prepare book. If you don't have that, you should get your prepare, Dark Horse. Okay. A commotion near the pharmacy drew Will's attention. Put the pills in the bag, bitch. The robber held a black high-point handgun, turning it sideways as he'd learned from watching Fast and Furious. The lab-coated pharmacist cowered. Her trembling caused bottles to drop, spilling medicinals on the floor. Please, sir, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Pick it up, bitch. From a perfect firing position, Will methodically observed the scene, identifying a second conspirator to the left. The guy had some kind of gold dental appliance and abundant face tattoos. The second guy. Another conspirator. Okay, let's read that again. From a perfect firing position, Will methodically observed the scene, identifying another conspirator to the left. The second guy had some kind of gold dental appliance and abundant face tattoos. That's better. A cowboy-hatted customer wearing a Ginger Wallflower concert t-shirt adjacent to the assailant held his hands up in a faux surrender. Will observed the metalhead Texan slowly angling closer to the maxed assailant. Okay, we have a double word here. Assailant. Do we have assailant up here? I don't think so. Stay cool, Will thought. He quickly clicked through the 5 elements of self-defense: innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, reasonableness. Damn it. Unfortunately, the customer did not see the second man. Suddenly, an arcing right-handed haymaker flew at the gunman. A finger jerked onto the trigger as the blow fell, but he'd forgotten to chamber a round. No go. What is near? Okay. Where is near? I don't know. Okay. Yo, B. Okay. Suddenly, an An arcing right-handed haymaker flew at the gunman. A finger jerked onto the trigger as the blow fell, but he'd forgotten to chamber a round. No go. Yo, B! The gunman fell. His gun rattled across the smooth floor. It slid towards the hidden companion. Okay, the gun fell. His gun, his high point. Well, I don't know. His fire. You got to change the word up here. Firearm rattled across the smooth floor. His unchambered. No, I don't like that. His chambered, his firearm. It's not a Glock. It's a high point. Shane, you think that thugs use Glocks? Come on, Shane. Thugs use high points. High points are like $150 for a 9mm. Oh, his piece. There you go. See, Aaron Olivia, you got it. His piece rattled across the smooth floor. Thank you. No, he doesn't have butterflies. He's an idiot. You wouldn't believe the idiocy. You don't know how stupid these people are. Okay, so Yo B. The gunman fell. His piece rattled across the smooth floor. It slid towards the hidden companion. Fuck yeah. The tattoo thug muttered through his grill, grasping for the spinning high point. Red. Point, squeeze, repeat. 2 rounds of .357 Magnum critical duty hit their mark, center mass. High Z did not survive. What do you think? So that's our little chat. See, this is a short little chapter, 4 pages, right? Okay. Any suggestions? See, that's how I write now. I will say that chapter was kind of. I think it's good. I think it's good. What does red mean? See, yellow, orange, red. You should know that it's in your name. Does anybody want to advise my female? Because there is some guy stuff in here. All right. It's from Jeff Cooper's Art of the Rifle. Jeff Cooper, Art of the Rifle, explains that when you're concealed carrying in a public space, you should be at condition yellow. There's basically 3 or 4. It depends on your situation. But if you're a concealed carrier in a public place, you kind of want to be aware of your surroundings. So you're sort of at yellow alert, right? So you're just got cautious. You're always cautious. You're paying attention to what's around you. You're looking around. There's no emergencies. You're just, green means you're kind of like la-di-da, I'm at Disney World and I'm eating popcorn. I'm completely unaware and a guy's pickpocketing your purse and you don't even know. That's green, all right? And most people operate in green. They don't not existing, but it's called the burden of concealed carry. So when you have a gun and it's concealed on you and you have the power of life and death, there's a responsibility, and you've trained, these things. These are the sheepdogs of the world. And that's our Will. He's a sheepdog, and he's trained, and he knows what he's doing. He's handled, he's gone to the training, he has his gun. And there's no contest between the guy that went to see in Fast and Furious. Yeah, women live in code yellow, we know. All right, well, it depends. It's, it's a different awareness. So when you go to red, that means violence is imminent. That means you use deadly force. I did not explain the scale. It's just sort of, sometimes you just have to know. Sometimes you don't know everything. There's an expectation of knowledge. And some people will get it and some people won't. We live in yellow. You think women live in yellow? I don't know. I think women maybe are taught to fear the world by the media. I'm not sure if that is a good state to be in if you are not a concealed carrier. I understand what you're saying. I assume that you're female because you're saying that. I don't think that's necessary. Married to a sheepdog. Ellie Fant, cheers to the sheepdogs of the world, right? I think it's pretty good. What do you think? I think it's a pretty good chapter. Aren't you happy to see High Z get it? There's a chapter that precedes this that after you get done reading it, you're going to hate him. Okay. I can't read it to you because it will reveal some things. So yellow or you like it. Yeah, so let's go back. Let's review that. That's actually not a bad question. Let's make sure it's not utterly confusing. But here we have the robbery, right? Okay, so here we go. The public place required the alert state yellow as the trained concealed carrier knew. Right? Okay, so we have that. And then we have down here, we have his red. Should I make that a paragraph or not? Red points. The Latin thug muttered through his grill, grasping for his spitting high point. I think it's hilarious. I want him to die. Yeah, and the humor of the guy buying the meds. Yeah, so here we do want to let's go through it. So here's this guy. This is just him. This is like every day. This is you and me. This is the good guys of the world. The retired guy who knows he's concealed carrier in Florida. He's from Montana. He knows how to use his gun. And the place gets robbed. He's just trying to get this trying to figure out what his wife wants him to buy without getting in trouble, right? And this is the male brain at work. Yeah, because he's got his grill and he can't talk. When they got the grill, they talk like this. Aisle, aha, very good. Aisle, not aisle. Okay, where is that? Aha, see there? Very good. Aisle. A diesel Mercedes-Benz Airstream Interstate idled outside the Walgreens, I should say. Distinctive engine knocking sound. It's a distinctive engine knocking sound, rumbling under the one. Just wants me to say Walgreens. Its owner, Will Presser, browsed the back aisle inside, next to the store's pharmacy. His wife had directed him to retrieve a pain reliever. The man poked away at the lanes of inventory, trying to remember which brand his spouse favored. Should I put a paragraph here? I think it kind of goes, it's good when it just runs. Was it a bear? Because it kind of adds to the confusion here. Was it a bear? Was it bear? Tylenol? Yes, Tylenol, possibly. 100 count gel pack, 500 milligrams. 50 count tablets, 650 milligrams. 24 caplet, 20. He struggled to mentally compare the price with the product amounts. Holding the calculations in his head, he then factored the brand decision with the advertised quality. Wait, recalculate. He stepped back. Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming lecture about his failure to properly mind read his wife. The images incentivized his decision. Maybe he should just maybe I think this goes here. Okay, so maybe he should have just listened to his wife more closely. Or maybe he should have listened. Should I put to his wife more closely? The images incentivize his decision. No, I think it goes this way because Will's mind, because the movie and the images are connected. So maybe he should have listened more closely. He grabbed one of each. Should I say listen to his wife? Is that clearer? He grabbed one of each. So that's sort of the introduction of like everyday domesticated guy stuff, trying to figure out what the wife wants and solving the problem by just buying one of each. And then she yells at him, "Why did you get all those?" But better than going back and not getting the right one and then getting yelled at and then having to go back in and do it again because we don't want to shop. It's distinctive knocking sound. It's distinctive knocking sound. I wanted to make engine knocking sound because otherwise it's maybe I could move diesel. Maybe it's distinctive diesel knocking sound. Maybe we should do this. That's better. Simpler, more direct. There we go. That's better. Mercedes-Benz outside, distinctive diesel knocking sound rumbled under the floor. Yes, very good. Much better. See there? Yeah, it doesn't. I'll tell you, a word does not like incentivized. It wants me to say inspired. But I kind of like incentivized because it's more mechanical and more guy-like. If you say inspired, it's like inspirational. And inspirational to me is something grand and holy, right? Making the decision about which stupid Tylenol pack is not an inspirational thing. It's an incentivized thing. So that's why I chose that word. The knocking sound, no, it's a Mercedes-Benz Airstream Interstate. It's a nice vehicle. That's a new thing. I'm thinking these are, yeah, Mercedes-Benz. Well, see, part of this too is that's a very expensive RV. These are not poor folks. These are people that are well-to-do and have retired to Florida. They have their condo in Florida. They drive back and forth to Montana, and a Mercedes Airstream Interstate is a very high-end, $250,000, $300,000 RV. So, good. So what about this one? If Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming lecture, marital lecture? How about that? Marital lecture about his failure to properly mind read. How about that? Take this out. That's better. Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming marital lecture. Will's. We got mind in here again. See, this is what I do is I double words. Will's mind played a movie. It's properly bind read. So we got mind read and we got mind. How are we going to fix that? Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming marital lecture about his failure to properly mind read. What's a different word for mind read? The images motivated his decision. I don't know. You don't like incentivized. People don't like incentivized. Is motivated better? Motivated is better than is what this is suggesting, which is inspired. Motivated is better. It's incentivized or motivated? Mm-hmm. Look at you. See, yellow, orange, red. You are awesome. See, I can't spell, so thank God. Telepathic or psychic? Psychic, telepathic. I think telepathic is more correct. Yeah, telepathic's better. But people don't like anticipate. Let's see, what do we got? Where do we have? What was the word instead of incentivized? Motivated? You like motivated better? In images motivated his decision. That's probably clearer. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's good. That's better. See there, this is what I need to do kind of throughout the whole book. This is where I am on most of the book now. No, but I want to, you're saying take out the sentence, but it's not, the thing is that if I took that sentence out, then it's just a matter of, well, I don't know. Maybe Will's mind played a movie, the upcoming marital lecture about his telepathic failure. The images motivated his decision. Maybe he should have listened to his wife. Okay, maybe you're right. What do you think about this? Will's mind played a movie of the upcoming marital lecture about his telepathic theory. Maybe he should have listened to his wife more closely. He grabbed one of each. That's better. See there? Yellow, orange, red. You want to edit my book? Will's heart yearned for their annual excursion back home to Montana. Most of his kids were there, and even some grandkids. Yeah, here's the oops, wait. Where do we go here? We've got ladies, always send a specific list and tell them if it's not on the list to video call, right? The LA fan. There's certain, see, there's lessons here beyond murder. There's lessons, there's marital lessons. There's a lot of lessons in this book. So you're gonna see Ghazni, but you see now, none of this is me. Is that fair? I want to make this clear that this book is fiction, but it is all right. So cheers to you, Yella. I'm one sidecar in, and this is to Brandon, who is our thug who's getting whacked, but he's also a good guy, and cheers to him. Yeah, footnote. We should put a footnote. Footnote, ladies. Well, we don't want, it is a fictional novel. We don't want to interrupt any enjoyment of our reading by a footnote. Now, let's see. Where are we? 9:30. Okay, we'll get done through. This is our chapter. We having fun. This is fun, isn't it? And you're helping. You're making this book better. This is the book. See here? Can you see down here? Let me see. You see down here? You think I'm lying to you? You think I'm lying to you about what I'm talking about? Can you see that? 45,520 words, 342 pages. Okay, so this is the actual manuscript that I'm working on directly with you, and you are a part of it. So thank you for the support, and thanks for the edits. Thank you, Wendy, for the purchase, and the other. I don't know who all's purchased, but again, we have a hardcover. We'll finish this up in a second. I'm gonna do it. You gotta have a commercial break. Ghazni commercial break. I'm trying to figure out how to do more than break even with these damn books. I think this book is great. I'm telling you, I think I want to sell it to a book publisher and have it like huge. I want every lonely housewife out there to be reading my book. But I've got three more. I've got three. You can also help me by buying three. We got three prepares, and these are signed and numbered. So here's the kind of thing you'll get: hardcover, best quality paper I can buy on this. It's very high-end paper, numbered, signed. So there's three of these left, and when they're gone, they're gone. They're all the hardcover. These are first edition hardcover originals, and I think this book's going to be great. But all this stuff. Each one of these has its own little thing. Like Prepare is my gift to the world. It's my philosophy of life. It's how I run things, how I think. It's faith. It's individual freedom. It's values. It's that sort of thing. It's a kind of an unusual self-help book about assessing your freedom. So that book is my most philosophical book. Brucie is my most personal kind of children's book. I love it. Christian message, a soft touch Christian message. Death penalty debates is about the death penalty public policy debate. If you want to have both sides presented and make your own mind up, very good. And then we've got Summer Friend, which is my first semi-fictional. It's mostly true. I've changed a few names, changed a few little details in it. It's funny, my assistant is my former assistant, who's now been transferred over to our other office, but she's still within the organization, or the public defender's office. She got this. I gave her a copy of the Summer Friend because she was my assistant. Awesomeness. So I call her. She's awesome. And evidently all the secretaries over at the public defender's office are passing my book around. So this is about growing up in Ormond Beach. It's a mostly true story about growing up in Ormond Beach, surfing, music, and growing up. And I will tell you, I only have a few more of these soft covers. And when they're gone, they're gone. Ideas and Answers Law is academics. So if you want solutions to common problems confronting the criminal lawyer, if you're a criminal, you have a criminal lawyer in your family or in your friendship circle, this is the book for them. Soon to come, Death Penalty Desires, Passion, Lust, and Murder. I'm also working on Death Penalty Designs. I'm also working on a 3-part fantasy novel. And I'm already, I don't know how much am I on that one? I don't know. I haven't looked at that. And I'll tell you, by writing Death Penalty Desires, it's going to help me with this book, because this book is going to have a murder mystery in it also. And doing the murder mystery part of Death Penalty Desires is great. It's kind of, these all things kind of go on, and it's all the muse, and you follow them. You like the Summer Friend? So it's Summer Friend it's a novelette. It's a sit down and read it on the beach for, a couple hours. It's an easy read. It's a soft, gentle story about leaving childhood behind and reminiscing. It's not a hard, complicated thing. Good for middle schoolers, I think. All right, so let's finish up our the point is stevegosney.com. If you want to pre-order the hardcovers, it's a soft launch next Saturday, 8 to midnight. Will be a long drinking stream of really release it. Hopefully by then I will have some cover art, and so I'll sub it. Right, you got it. 7 and 9. Is somebody bringing up 7 and 9? Yes, Goodfella, right? Somebody did. They bought, it was out of order. They bought 7 of 9. What number is this? Oh, this is 7 of 9. They bought 7 of 9 of the Ideas and Answers in Law. So if you want 7 of 9, prepare. Now's your chance. I've only got 3 of these left, and I've got 5 of the Ideas and Answers in Law yet. Yeah, they bought 7 of 9 Ideas and Answers in Law, which was my first book, and it's my bestseller. But I'll tell you, I have such great, I don't want to say expectations, I'd say hopes. On the other hand, I'm fearful, because people are going to look at this and they're going to think, Gosney, you are this. I'm not, because I'm a nonfiction writer mostly. But I'm not, but this is definitely fiction. Okay. And would you grant me artistic license to observe the world as it is, not as I want it to be? Okay. Yes, it's going to be next Saturday, 8 to midnight. I moved it because of the Expert. I was going to do it Friday night, but then Valhalla reminded me that the Expert has a Friday night stream. So I moved it to Saturday night, 8 to midnight. I thought about a pen name. So here's the answer to that one. I thought very hard about it, but part of it is I'm a hard charger. I just go. And I don't want to hold anything up. I mean, I don't know if you remember my frustration. People now, maybe you've known me long enough. Maybe you understand why I was so frustrated with old Nick Rekieta when he was delayed at his forward, because I had him do the forward to prepare back in the day. And I had prepare done, and I wanted to get it out. And she was driving me nuts. The book's done. I want to go. I want to move on. It's stuck, That's kind of like this book. I mean, I've got it. I've been pushing because I want to get it done. Now that it's done, I want to get it out there. Once I get it out there, I want to go on to the next thing. So it's like, it's always push. And so I'm not doing forwards. I'm not doing back things. I'm not doing anything. Now the only thing that's holding me up now is the cover art. So maybe I need to get working on the fantasy novel cover art, but the cover art's expensive. And I will say that's one of the holdups, is that there's 2 ways again. And let's talk about this. See there, look at Jay Leapgott. You're a lawyer, right? I think you are. You should write. I encourage you guys to write. They've been inspired. A new series, Sexy Murder, He wrote Murder Sexy, where Gosney, you're saying this is for me, is the Jessica Fletcher of murder erotica. I don't know all that stuff, but I think it's cool, whatever you're saying. Yeah, and so it'll be Saturday, 8 to midnight, Expert. And we'll have a big riff stream. Branca's going to be on, Valhalla be on. We'll see who else shows up. But 8 to midnight to do a hard launch of the pre-orders for the Death Penalty Designs hardbacks. So the way it's going to go, hardbacks, only pre-orders, and signed and numbered, best quality. And part of this is what I love. You don't know how much this makes me happy. I love having a content that I love, art that I love, quality hardback with the top notch, like the paper and everything is so wonderful. As a guy, I love this. This is like, to me, this is where it's at. Okay, now I know that people read the ebooks, so and they read the audiobooks. And Prepare and Death Penalty Debates are both available on Audibles. Death Penalty Debates is on Amazon on the audio Kindle thing. So get Death Penalty Debates on Kindle audio if you want. That's the only one I've got on Kindle audio. Prepare is available in audio, but only at my website. Okay, so who is this Lieb guy? You're killing me. Yes, if it was a true erotica book, maybe I should do a pen name. But see, a pen name just adds a barrier and delay to me getting it in your hands. You read audiobooks? I talk audiobooks. Prepare is not a law book. Have you read Prepare? It starts as a law book. It started, my son said the first 6 chapters of that book are a law idea, and that it was the Prepare is the best idea that I've ever had, which was quite a compliment for my son. Yes, you need Steph. Oh, I gotta get Steph. See there? Thank you very much. You are right. So Steph, next Saturday invite. Oh, AJ, you nailed it. Thank you very much. See, you guys are part of the team. All right. Okay. If Prepare was a law book, do you want? Okay, you're yellow, orange, red. You're a newbie. Okay, so this is my second book. So we got 1, 2. I think it was 3, 4. I think it was that. I forget which one was 3 and 4, but it's these 2. And then Brucie was 5. And now we're going to have Death Penalty Desires. And then probably Death Penalty Designs. Although that book, I'm thinking that's going to be my textbook. Well, we'll talk about that. I don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, so Prepare. Here's what Prepare is. This is the handbook for individual freedom. Develop the ideal Christian mindset. Come on. Focus. How does that work? Okay, here we go. If I move in slowly. Okay, so this one is a very important book. It's a self-assessment, top to bottom, to find the golden path of life so that you are fully actualized as a person, so that you will have all of your needs met and that you can live the most fulfilled life that a human being can have, and that you don't reach beyond our simple human limitations, that you assess. And so there's three parts of this book. I'd say three, maybe 4. The 4th part is kind of the conclusion, which is a question back to you, a self-assessment challenge. But it started out as kind of a legal concept. And the legal concept was, am I an originalist? And this is really how Gosney thinks. It's become too creative for law. Am I an originalist? Constitutional originalist? And my lefty friend, my progressive friend, Ryan, said, are you? And it's easy just to say, go team conservative, right? But I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not sure. What does that mean? And I thought about it. And so of course, that was a tough question. I had to really dig deep. What is my constitutional philosophy, especially since I do constitutional law? In fact, if you want to go see my U.S. Supreme Court brief, I think that is posted on Locals. The U.S. Supreme Court brief, which is in Ideas and Answers in Law, the cost of incarceration. That case I've got in as a U.S. Supreme Court cert petition right now. So if you have your chapter on Ideas and Law. Anyways, so he asked me, am I an originalist? And as I thought about it, I'm like, I don't know. And I looked at that question very deeply. And my answer turned out, and the first 6 chapters were sort of a deep dive into that question using law. And my answer resolved to be, it's necessary but not sufficient. It's necessary but not sufficient. So we need to begin and have originalism and as a foundational concept of constitutional interpretation. But if you are a pure originalist, that is a recipe for individual tyranny or governmental tyranny of the individual freedom. And that was quite an explosion of insight, because generally I think, oh, well, conservative, I'm a conservative guy. Um, but I have a criticism of the progressive view, the living, breathing Constitution idea, which is also a recipe for tyranny. So I found that both the conservative and the liberal sides, if taken to extreme, will result in tyranny and the destruction of individual freedom. That was the conclusion of the first 6 chapters of this book. And then the question then became, well, okay, and I'm always about solutions, not answers, not just criticisms. Well, what do I do with that? And was the answer legal? Because when I got done with it, I'm like, the answer is not legal. The answer is individual. And it requires us all to look at ourselves in the mirror and see if we're individuals. So let's do an assessment and build each individual up from the ground up. So the first 6 chapters were a big part. And then there were some prepper kind of ideas on these foundational things. And then as you move up the pyramid, this third little pyramid part here is a Christian part. And the 2 chapters on faith, there's 2 chapters on faith in this book that were very, I would say, challenging to write, which is what is my faith. So that was, you hit the ball. You got a lot of free commentary on that one. So cheers to you. Yeah, Yellow, Orange, Red is a great editor. I think it's a she. You have done great things, and let's finish up our little chapter. All right. So then we can go to bed or go over. Maybe who's streaming next? Maybe we can do the whole share thing. I want to make sure somebody's paying attention. I've done a couple streams, and people do Ghazni raid, and then the person's wandering off, or like Joe doesn't read his chat. Okay, yellow, orange, red. You are a very good editor. Hey, King Bob. Yeah, I'm streaming 8 p.m. seems to be my magical time. I will stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time unless tell you otherwise. But Replay Crude is great too. All right, have we got that? Okay, so let's make sure we're good on this chapter. I think the chapter came through together, so that was pretty good. I think it's a pretty good chapter. So we are our will. We've got his thing. We've got his telepathic there. So now we've got these two we've got his intro where he's struggling with his wife's directions, which every man can relate to. and then feeling that they're going to get punished for not remembering or not hearing or whatever the wife wants, and I want to accomplish it, but let's see. So we got all that. Elephant, I'm the only one streaming. Okay, well, then I'll entertain you a little longer. So we all us men can relate to that, right? Men tell the ladies and our solution is just buy them all, and then if then they can sit on the shelf. It's not going to go bad, right? The man's logic here is like, okay, maybe these will come in handy at some other point. So if we get a bunch of them, at least I'm not going to have to go back in and get the one that she wanted to begin with. I'm going to hit it with this shotgun approach, and the cash dumps. So I'm going to spend $20 instead of 10. Well, at least my problem, that's the $10 is worth not having you didn't get what I wanted. You didn't listen. Now you can say, oh, I got you a whole selection, right? So I've done my job as a man, and I'm not in trouble. The most she can get in trouble with is you got more stuff than you want, which is what we often get when we go to the grocery store. So yeah, okay. You had yellow, orange, red. So you're getting a little male insight here too. This is a real exploration, a character exploration into the female mind, the submissive female mind. What does that mean? This book was a real contemplation of that. And I will tell you, I'm surrounded by very strong women. So that is not necessarily a thing that I am familiar with. Well, no, let me take that back. All right. Back to the case, the original, the core case in this. A lot of women, okay, ladies, listen up. You listening? A lot of women are submissive in sort of a sexual primal way. and they desire that submissiveness to the strong masculine figure, but it gets expanded into other areas of life, and they apply this desire for deference into other areas, right? And the problem is that is not, and there's a lot of justifications that go on there because that's the instinct. But then the justification becomes, I am now protected. I am relieved of responsibility. I will be protected by this man from danger by my submission. I will submit and then I will be protected. Okay. And this case that I did that it was so traumatic to me was once a very extremely submissive female who ended up going to prison for a very long time because of her of her passivity. She was in like this person is, she's on the very high end of wanting to please, very high end of agreeableness. I need to write that. See, they were still adding. So it's it's fine to be submissive in the bedroom if that's what excites you and that is the primal thing and that creates the babies and all good. But be careful that that doesn't bleed into areas that can get you into trouble, that lead you in the wrong way. And part of that is choosing the right man, right? And the older ladies may know this. When you're young, it's a little more confusing. What is the right man is a much more difficult choice and calculation. But the choice of man is the woman's generally, and that is a very powerful force in our evolution. So that is powerful. You don't submit that, you don't defer, don't offload that choice. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the overarching. So here we got yellow, orange, red. You're agreeing with that? I'm thinking about it. Book looks awesome. Thank you very much, Aaron. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so this is one of the kind of the themes and lessons in the book is our submissive woman who maybe takes it a little too far, puts it in areas that she shouldn't. I don't really even know. I don't even know. Yeah, like see, Ellie fan, you got it. You mean like dating guys who are gigantic turds who weren't worthy of my time? That yes. Did we talk? Were you on the experts channel the other night? Because we talked about this a little bit. I read, I'll read you one more story because you said nobody else is streaming. I haven't checked that, but I'm going to share one more little story when we get done editing. Remind me to give you the story about Elle, because this is another lesson. It's not going to be a spoiler, but it's important since we're talking women. I can jump back there. What do you think? Hold on. Let me jump. This is something I shared on the expert stream, but hell, it's my stream, right? I better share it on mine. Don't want the expert to get all the credit for my writing, right? I was on fire. I kind of took over his stream. I'm sorry. I want to give you a good lesson. These ladies. Okay. Oh shoot. All right, hold on a second. Here it is again. Okay, yeah, okay. I want to make sure we don't see anything that you shouldn't see here. Okay, I think that's good. Ready? So this is a so you got the expert. I took over his stream. I tend to do that, but see, this is why I needed to stream for myself, not go on other streams, be my own guy. I get it because I want to talk and I want to dominate. See, there is a little dominant Steve in here. Okay. So can you see this? So this is a little life lesson. This is mostly true. Nerdy college Rodney, always poring over the books, escaping the wound. The social lines were clearly drawn. Rodney Spinnaker looked on from the outside, but Elle smiled. Most women fail to comprehend the power of an approving look, he thought. I should take off he thought. Doesn't need to say that. The Tri Delta sorority sisters gathered in their designated common dining area. Rodney needed to know what made the girl tick. What was it they wanted that he could not understand? He picked up his food tray and sat down next to Elle and her friend Dolly. Rodney knew he was way out of his league, and so did Elle. Most girls would take his approach as an insult, rapidly and publicly humiliating their low-status suitor. To be approached by someone so low, well, that signaled low status to the top-end men. A dagger of rebuke would fly. The other girl looked away, but Elle showed kindness. "Hello, my name is Elle, and you are?" Elle softly inquired. "Rodney Spinnaker, pleased to meet you." "You're the smart one, right? I have seen you in the library." Rodney's guard relaxed, not thinking someone of her station noticed some minute detail in one such as him. "Yeah, I guess so." Elle soon became a regular companion at lunchtime. Rodney never pressed the relationship further, content to value Elle's face time to educate himself on what such a prize would expect. He reveled in what simple female kindness provided: a lamp to show the way, a flower placed on his breast. Rodney's power grew. College men looked up to Rodney's academic accomplishments and traded for his time. They lured him to the gym, showing him techniques for improving his physique. Rodney's threat expanded in proportion to his musculature. Okay, I can't go further than this because then it would be a spoiler. All right, but this is a true story about your humble host. And I will never forget this. Now, it's sort of a passing moment. And it's not like this person, there was never any touch or romantic attempt on either side. The person that I sat down with at the table was way above my station. Yes, she was the best looking girl in the school, top of the heap. And I'm just some bookworm nerd at Stetson with confusion and unhappiness and disaster, right? But I approached her because she was beautiful and she was intriguing and I was interested. And, I sat down. I wanted to be close and experience a little bit of that warmth, a little of that light that femininity can provide. And to her credit, Elle was very genteel. She was very compassionate. She did not rebuke the old Gosney. She would share her table with me at lunch. Even though I was not liked at that table, she was my buddy. She was my lunch buddy. And she was very smart. And I knew she was very kind. And I enjoy it. It brightened my day to be in her presence. And I can't even say I was really even attracted to her. I mean, she's beautiful and sexy and gorgeous and all that, yes. But it's not like I knew that would never happen. It's like if I captured that in a bottle, it wouldn't work, right? But yet, a lot of women, I think, in other situations, I've had this happen, where you approach somebody maybe above what they feel is you're below them. And it's such an insult to their personality. Like, I'm a 10 and you're a 5. And and so you approaching me says that you think I'm a 5. So I've got to show the world that I reject you so hard that it broadcasts, because I don't want you bringing me down. You're a threat to my ambitions to get the top guy. That's what a lot of women kind of primally do and unconsciously do. And they can really destroy a young man that it's a very vulnerable position for him to put on to make that kind of approach. Even though, he realized the situation. She realized the situation, but she would responded with kindness. She had an understanding. She had it didn't threaten her. I mean, she wasn't going to get lowered by my approach. I mean, she was top of the heap, right? And so I just think that that's a really good lesson that women need to understand, and how vulnerable, and some men will be destroyed by that, and the harshness that is given back. And um, teach your daughters this. A lot of as ladies get older, I think they recognize it, they understand it better. But when the young girls are around and they're fighting and they're competing for the top guy, they that gets funky. Okay, anyways, sorry about that. So, what else we got? Have I got to keep up on chat? Yeah, I don't know. This is a good question. I don't know. She never married, actually. It's interesting. She never married, and still beautiful. I shared in the private chat with LinkedIn. She's still Facebook friends, and still beautiful. Been very successful. She didn't rank. And maybe that's it. I don't know, but just because as a woman, you have a lot of power to destroy at a young age like that. You're desirable. You have a lot of suitors. You have a lot of opportunities. And these young guys do not. And they're very vulnerable. Protect them for the other women. Protect their vulnerability so that they will approach the right woman. Don't destroy them. Don't wound them such that opportunity, their ability to find the right person is not destroyed. We have a responsibility for each other. So yeah, is that a lesson for tonight? Okay, let's finish up. I think we're done. I mean, I think we've got it. You want to do the old handoff stream? Do we have a good night tonight? It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, let's do that. Let's hand it off. 2 hours. That's too much. I gotta get to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. And one of the reasons I was pushing is because I've got to get off tomorrow. Oh, we got expert is on at 10:30. Is that 10:15, 25. So what is that? That's 12 minutes. We can hang out for 12 minutes and go over to the experts. What do you say? Let me see if anybody else is streaming. YouTube Studio. I don't know. Let's see. Live. Notify on there. This is fun. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'm very relieved. I mean, because I got to work tomorrow, man. And getting this book, I actually took off 2 days from work. I took it off because the muse was there. So I filed for leave and took off 2 days last week because I needed to get that done. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Mr. the Expert here. I'm gonna do that. So I gotta set this up. We'll hang out for about 10 minutes. What do you say? Is that a cool? You guys have questions? Put it in the chat while I set this up. If you have questions about the book, and maybe we can work through that chapter one more time. But I think it's pretty darn good. I mean, how can I really improve that? I don't know. I think it's the way I want it to say. Oh, I was going to tell you one more thing. Okay, I got one more thing. Hold on. That's good. I have to tell you about that. Okay, save. Okay, we're good. I got to tell you this. This is a good story. Or maybe I told it. I don't know. I can't remember what I'm saying. Okay, so Slidey Pie says, Slidey Pie's got a channel, by the way. If you guys want to see who Slidey Pie really is, she's laying it out there for you. There's a couple people. Expert, I've just redirected to you at 10:15. So when I was a teenager, the only boys who paid attention to me were the dorks. Okay, but I never treated them badly. I was pretty cute then. Well, the dorks can rule the world. Eventually, the dorks make a lot of money. Like you'll see our lead hero, our guy that got dissed at the table with his tray, not dissed, and he got accepted, but you'll see this is part of a story about his life because the main character, you got to know why he is. And I will say that there's a lot of truth. There's absolutely true stories leading up to about college, and then it departs, and then it becomes Ghazni Fantasyland. It is not a autobiography, but there are some true stories. Like I said, this L story is true, and had an impact on me because and I will say it also gave me hope. Gave me hope that not all women were harsh rejectors. That there were women that would be kind, and that light was worth the pain sometimes, the suffering. Although it's a balance, sometimes you can just give up. A lot of men just give up, and they deal with enough rejection. They just go play video games, right? What was I going to say? Okay, so did I tell you I was going to auction off the character? So we got Will, the 6-gun shooter. I was going to auction. I was like, because I think a lot of concealed carry guys want to shoot High Z. I know I do, right? They train their life to be in that situation. This is the dream situation for the concealed carrier. Oh, is this for me? Yellow, orange, red. You want to know how I met my wife? Yeah, so I was going to auction off the identity, but then like Branca, I told Branca about it because I said, Branca, you need to sponsor me because he goes through his thing about the law of self-defense things. I said, if you give me a sponsorship, I'll put your name, I'll put law of self-defense platinum member in there, right? But he's all Mr. Calculating. He's like, well, how am I going to monetize that? I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. So then I just said, to hell with it. I like it the way it is. I'm not messing with it. So I called off the auction. But we're still going to have the soft launch or the hard launch of the pre-orders, hardback pre-orders next Saturday, 8 to midnight. Was this for me? Yeah, okay. Oh, Shane. Yeah, Shane met my wife. So did Danielle. What led me to a happy marriage? That's a good question. A miracle. God is at work. I should do a whole stream on this, but the short story is my brother is married to my wife's sister. Okay, how's that? And my brother wrote his wife, it was from the Philippines, and wrote her back and forth for a long time. And I wanted to scuba dive. I was going to law school and I wanted to scuba dive. And my brother had this contact. And so I'm like, great. Philippines has great scuba diving. They like Americans. They speak English. It's a foreign country. It's a long way away. They have great scuba diving. Dollar goes forever. Let's go there. Your friend can be there and we'll connect there. And then and then I can go scuba diving. Right. And I can travel with my brother before I go off to college. All good. So that was it's just kind of synchronicity. It worked out. So when I went to the Philippines with my brother, I remember we went out to lunch. We first met, we met them out. We met his friend that he was writing out for lunch in Manila at a nice restaurant on Manila Bay. And then what happened was, my brother's now wife, but it was his friend at the time, was there, and she brought along a friend, and the friend was like, okay, I'll deal with my person that's been writing me, and here's a friend for your brother, right? And then of course my wife, the imp that she is, she finds out where her sister's is meeting this American at this restaurant. So she finds this out, if she just maneuvers, and she comes because she wants to see what's going on because she's a Snoopy sister, younger sister. And I remember she shows up at the restaurant, and all I remember was the sun, like the sun blotted out everything else. And I remember because I was like, this woman, and she's got this smile. It was so beautiful. And I wasn't really attracted to anybody else in the Philippines. I mean, not that Philippines are beautiful, but my brother was like, there's so many beautiful girls. And yeah, okay, got it. But I wasn't me. I mean, it was like there was this one girl and she was smiling at me and she was so beautiful, just that feminine smile in her eyes. And she was just an imp. She's an imp. That's just my wife. And so and I remember we went back to the house and I was like, who was that girl? Who was that girl? And then the sister says like, who the girl, like the girl I set up with you? And I don't even remember what her name was. I don't know what she looked like. I don't remember that. Like, no, not that one, not that one, the other one, the one that was the smiling, what, my sister? I was like, yeah, her sister. I like it. So that was the thing. And I always say it was love at first week. We call it love at first week because it took a while for us to figure out. It was like, what is this? Is this real? What's going on here? I mean, there's a longer version of this, but I had all that smile, and I remember the sun, and it just blocked out the sun, and it was just the only person that interested me. And I don't know. I don't know. I kind of lost my head. It was and yellow, orange, red. You are absolutely right. And I will say that when I got married, I can't say I had a strong faith. We agreed one part of my deal for marrying my wife is that we would raise any of our children Catholic and that we would support her parents. Those were the two things. So I agreed to that. And that was the main barrier to our marriage. But it wasn't a barrier because it made my wife happy. It got her over here. And I'm very happy. Our son is very Catholic, very faithful, better than I'd say. And then I came to my faith through another process, which is explained in Prepare, through another thing. And looking back, the miracles that have worked in my life, I look back and say, meeting my wife was a miracle. Now, at the time when you don't have faith, you don't see it. And I'll say there's actually a little religious component in my new book. I don't want it to be preachy. I don't want it to be over the top. I don't want it to be, but it's in there. The muse has struck, and I put it in. There's some stuff in there that has some faith in it, and it's hard to explain. When the book comes out and you all read it, I'll answer questions about it. We'll talk. But at this point, I can't talk about it. But it's a kinky bondage story, and it's a nasty jury trial, and it's death and murder. But there's also a little sprinkling of faith in there. So, and it's not over the top, but it's present. And I didn't even realize it when you write it. It's just present. You write it, and there it is, right? So long answer. That's the yellow, orange, red. There's a much longer version of that story. But I can tell stories. That's part of it. I'm a trial lawyer. I'm a writer. I'm a novel writer. I have my first novel. So get your first novel. SteveGosney.com. My first novel. 45,000 words, 342 pages at this point. I don't know. Depends. When it goes to the printer, it might shrink or expand, or I don't know. But that's what it is. And its novel is over 40,000 words. So I am a novelist. How about that? That is cool. I want y'all to have it. So the hardcover limited edition numbered signed hardcovers of Death Penalty Desires is now available. Soft launch next weekend, Saturday, 8 and 12 will be the hard launch of the pre-orders, and I'll have guests on. And I'll try to get Steph the Alternate. That's a good one there. And sidecar recipe in the book. That was expert. We're going to dump over to experts in just a minute. And if you can't afford $85, I know that's expensive for a book, but it might be a good investment. It's really because you support me, you support my work, and you want it to be successful. And I've got to pay for the cover art, which is going to be expensive. And it's basically this pre-order system will provide for my cover art. And I want the cover art to be really nice. I've got the same artist that did The Summer Friend. He's going to give it a shot and see if he can come up with something I'm happy with. I was going to do like a Harlequin romance novel because I want the ladies to get it, but it may be more in this kind of vein. I don't know. See what he comes up with. Let's see. But with that, Is that it? Let me just one more little peek around. Any more questions? Any questions from the panelists? I'll be around, as you know, and I'll probably do a stream sometime during the week on guilty pleasures, and or guilty. What is it? Guilty musical pleasures. Yeah. Well, she had the longer story. I can tell you kind of her side of the story. That's a different case. So, expert, you're still here. You need to go start your stream so we can dump over and everybody can say Gosney raid, Gosney raid. Okay. What's happening over here? I don't know. Yeah, just keeping locals is generally I'll try to post ahead, and then I also Twitter. I'll usually Twitter out my streams ahead. I don't know how this notification works. I'm still very confused by all that. Isn't the book fun, Lily? Isn't this fun? I like having you guys. Reading it out loud, and part of the process of editing is reading through it and hearing how it sounds to the ear. And when it sounds wrong, and sometimes it's just word choice, like that's not quite the right word. Like we struggled over some of those incentivized and some of those words. That's where I'm at the book. So I know that in a month, I mean, come on, I wrote the whole damn book in 9 days, right? So I know that in a month I'll be able to edit through all that. Yeah, it's fun. Thank you very much, Yellow, Orange, Red. And yes, this stream was more my editing process. I've done some streams where we've actually written things from the ground up, and it's just focus over time. And I get very focused, and I will say this: I'm not really as fast when I'm working without talking to you guys. It's a lot more accelerated, but you're seeing what I do in some of the streams where I'm actually composing. You're seeing the process, but it's slowed down a lot because I want to make sure that you're involved, right? Yeah, write a book. I'm not. The hard launch is next. If you do it, Wendy already nailed it. Wendy already got the first one, but you will be part of it. I mean, it will support. Okay, so experts on. So I'm gonna do it now. When we go over to expert, what are you gonna say? Gosney raid, right? Gosney raid. God bless you. Happy Sunday. Have a great week, and you guys keep out of trouble. Keep away from the cops and the criminal justice system. Let me tell you that's for, and do your best. All right. So ready? Practice your Gosney raid. Here you go.